Hello everyone, welcome to this new TouchDesigner tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to see again through the book Generative Design, and this next tutorial is for the next chapter, that is P222 Intelligent Agents. The page for the code is this one. You can download here the code, the individual code for processing. Okay, so I'm gonna close this and we're gonna end with this network. Okay, entonces we're gonna open a new file. Also, this is the code for processing that we are going to see. Okay, so we're gonna open this blank file, and first I think the thing we can do is to build our network, and then we're gonna make the script. The network is very basic because this sketch is almost done, or is all done in the script uh, shop. So yeah, that's why we're gonna use or build first the network, and then if we write our code um, without errors, everything will work fine. Okay, so first we're gonna use a panel chop. We're gonna use the value inside U, and we're gonna rename it to mouse X. After this, we're gonna use a math, and we're gonna attach the script after the math, and finally we use a null. Okay, and this null we can rename it to pose, and after this we're gonna put two subs. One will be the line sub, and the other will be the circle sub. Okay, here we're gonna use a geometry. We're gonna copy and paste, oops, the geometry. And then we're gonna attach our camera. We're gonna attach a render. After the render, we're gonna attach a feedback, and we're gonna attach an over. After this over, we're gonna attach a transform. This transform will help us to have our background in white color. And finally, we're gonna attach a null. This null we rename it to sample, because we're gonna sample the pixel value from this canvas. And we're gonna attach again another node that we rename to BG. We're gonna make it visible or not, because we can split here and we select panel, because we need the value of our mouse in X position inside the panel. Okay, we're gonna go up to the project, and we change the height to 1280, and we look to the look page and change to BG. Now we see our circle, but not in the good way. That's because here we need to change also our resolution. That will be the same as parent dot width. We're gonna copy and paste and change parent dot height. Okay, and change here to 32-bit float, and reset the feedback, and now it's good. After this, we're gonna set up our camera to orthographic in the view page. we change to bottom left, and the ortho width will be to equal to parent dot width. Okay, we reset again the feedback, and now our geometries are good, but we also need some materials for those. So for the geometry 2 we use a constant, and for the line we use a line. Okay, and yeah, that's it for now. So we can start with our script. So we're gonna edit contents here. I'm gonna close this. Yes. Oops. No. And we're gonna see this code from here. So it's very straightforward. This is the code that it's almost the same, but with the syntax of Python. But the the operations and everything, it's the same as the ones that are here. Okay, so we're gonna start here first. We're gonna use, or we're gonna import the sorry, we're gonna import the random module, because we need some functions from there. And after that we start declaring the north value, the east value, the south value, and the west value. Okay, and also we're gonna declare this angle count here. So angle count equal to 7. Why we do this? Because we need this to be global parameters, or yeah, this will be global variables, and that's because we're gonna use them in the main function, and also in this another function that we need to build to drive the code in the main function. So that's why we need these values to be global. Okay, after that we're gonna use or declare the parameters that will be like our store values, or where we're gonna store our values. So here first we change from append float to append int, and change the name to direction, and the label also to direction. Here we use an append float, that it's good. We only change here to angle, and here also to angle. After this we need to add two values that we can use an XY, and here will be cross, and the label also cross. Oops, cross. And finally we append XY, and here will be old, and label old. Okay, so if we go back to our page, and here on the script we see custom, there is value A, value B, set of parameters, and now we have our parameters. So going back to the code, the next thing we need to do is to declare this function first, and that is because in Python we use to declare these functions before the main function, but it could be after, I think, but I will do it before. So I'm gonna delete this, and we're gonna put def get random angle that will take direction, and this will be equal to a is equal to math.floor and the module random, and we're gonna use the function range, and range will be minus angle count to angle count. And finally to this we're gonna add 0.5, we close parentheses and we multiply by 90 and we divide by angle count. And here that is because we need another parenthesis here before the math floor function. Okay, so after this we're gonna use these if statements, that is if direction is equal to north, we're gonna change the value to the from a to a minus equal 90. If direction equal to east, a will be equal plus equal 0. If direction is equal to south, a will be plus equal 90, and if direction it's equal to west, here we're gonna return a plus equal 180, and finally we're gonna return the value of a, return a. And yeah, that's it for this function. So now we can continue with the main function. Okay, so the next step is to after this script up.clear, we need to import these memory variables or store variables that we have in our parameters, and we need to declare it here. So pose x will be equal to script up dot par dot old x, pose y will be equal to script up par old y, cross x will be equal to script up par cross x, and cross y will be equal to script up par cross y. Okay, cross y with lowercase, cross x here, sorry. And after this we're gonna import also our angle, that will be equal to script up par dot angle, and direction, par angle, and direction that will be equal to script up par direction. And after this that is almost this, here we're gonna declare also this both. So step size equal to 2 and mean length equal to 10. Okay, and after this we're gonna to import the value that will be help us to construct this for loop. That is our variable mouse x that comes from the panel value we put in the first input. So we're gonna declare mouse x equal to script up dot inputs, and we select the first input and their first channel. Also, this value will drive the number of samples that we are processing at each time. And to make that, we need to assign this value to the script up dot num samples equal to mouse x. And finally, we need to declare and to make out, sorry, the values that we need to drive our sketch. So we're gonna declare the channels, and is script up dot append chan, and the chan name will be tx for x, and y equal to script up dot append chan to ty. We can save and check if everything's good. Here we have an error, alt x, let me see, alt, oh okay, alt x with lowercase, alt y also. And now it's working good. Okay, so yeah, we're going fine with this. So the next step here is to start from this for. So for e in range mouse x or pose x will be equal plus equal to math cos math radians the of the angle, and this will be multiplied by step size, and will be the same for pose y. So we can copy and paste, change here to pose y, here change to scene, and everything else is the same. After this, we need to declare a boolean that is named reached border, and this will be set to false. Here in Python, the false value and the true value needs to be with uppercase letter, the first one. Okay, and then we can start declaring these if positions or if statements. So if pose y minor or equal to 5, direction will be changed to south, and reached border will be set to true, because here we are checking if the position of our agent is on the borders of our canvas, and if he hits these borders, these 4 borders, it will change his direction to draw the next line. So here will be elif parenthesis pose 6 is greater or equal than parent dot width, that is this width and height, parent dot width minus 5, then our direction will be equal to west, and reached border will be equal to true. And here we can copy and paste this 2 times because there are also ellipse statements, so we can save some seconds. So here will be post y is the same if it's greater than parent dot height -5, then our direction will be north, and the Richard border will be true. And finally, if pose x it's less or equal than 5, then our direction will be equal to east, and Richard border will be equal to true. So we end this code, and we're gonna start doing this once. So we need to declare px will be equal to int the pose x, and py will be equal to int the pose y. So we're gonna type this this line, this if statement, but this function is not as straightforward in TouchDesigner. It's more it has more digits, so we're gonna declare this outside, so our if statement it's not so long. So this will be make our name color, because we're going to check the color of the current pixel. And to make this, we're gonna use the sample function, and that's why we name null in our sketch sample. So color is equal to up or up sample, and we're gonna sample the x value of px, and the y value will be equal to py. And now we can start our if statement, and if color, and we're gonna take the channel 0, that is the R channel, it's different from 1. Color 360 is equal to white, because we are on HSV value, so this will be equal to 1 in RGB values. Or Richard border is true. So here what it's doing, it's that if we are intersecting our line or one of the lines that we drew before, or we reach the border of our canvas, we're gonna change the direction and things to draw our line. Here first we're gonna to change the direction stored value to the new direction, that is this one, and angle will be equal to get random angle, that is the function that we did in the beginning. And we're gonna put the direction, and also we're gonna update the parameter angle to the new calculated angle. And after this we're gonna use or calculate the distance with the math function dist from pose x, pose y, that is our first point, and cross x and cross y, that is our second point. And then we start using the if statements, that is this one. So if distance greater or equal than min length, then we're gonna this because these are not variable and this define the line, we can avoid declaring this in the script and doing doing it in the material parameters. Okay, so the only thing that we need to do is this one, and here will be, oops, sorry, here will be up, oops, up line 1 dot bar dot pax is equal to pose x. We can copy and paste this, and pay equal to pose y, and we can copy and paste both of these, and outline pbx pby, and this will be cross x and cross y. Okay, so now the line has uh, these positions, and we need to update again the variable, the stored variables. So here will be script of dot par cross x equal to pose x, and the script of par dot cross y equal to cross y. Oops, sorry, pose y. And we get out from this if, and we assign the value that was calculated here to the output channels. So x of that sample will be equal, to pose x, and y of that sample, will be equal to pose y. And finally, the script of par all x is equal to pose x, and the script of par all y will be equal to pose y. We save it, and that's all of our code. We only need to check if we did it without no errors, but we have some errors. So line 56, float object cannot be interpreted as an integer. So let me see. 56 for, okay, here we need to change the mouse x, as we are using an float value. We cannot go in a for loop using float value, so we need to convert this to int value. We save and we return, and everything's working good for now, but we are not drawing anything, and that's because our line is not in the correct color, and also here we not have the correct samples. So first we're gonna fix this. So we go to the math page, we go to the range, and here the range we're gonna change from 1 to 5. And here on the panel, here on the OP, page from the math, we go to the integer parameter and change it to round. Now we have another error, and let me see that it's why, because module math has no attribute radians. Okay, so I type in bad radians, it must be radians, and now it's good, but part collection has no attribute old x in the line 1. Okay, old x, let me see, we it xy. Oh, okay, this is old x with lowercase and all white with lowercase, and now it's doing something. Okay, but yeah, I think it's working, but we need to change these colors. So this line, that is this part of the code, the struct weight will be equal to 30 in the near width, and we go to line, and here will be equal to 0, and here on the specify line far color we turn it off because we don't need it, and here this circle we can set his parameters from here. Stroke weight is 1, the stroke is 180 from 360, that is 0.5 in the RGB values, and here we draw a point of 1, so here our point needs to be a radius of 0.5, and that's a diameter of 1, and here we can put 180 divided by 360 and copy and paste it to the RGB, and now it's good. And yes, so we're almost there, it's working good, but we are not seeing the past lines because we are not setting yet our feedback. And if we draw this over to the feedback, now the past lines are in the screen, and you can see that it's working good. So also we need to instance this circle, so we can see where is this agent at the specific moment. So we turn on instancing, and we draw the pose to the translate OP, and select here TX and here TY, and let me see, TX TY. Okay, it's good. I'm gonna reset this. Oops. Okay. Let me see if I make this. Okay, so I can make it this like 1, and you can see now the point is drawing before the line gets drawn. And yeah, so we have here some kind of like problem, and that is because it says that here we have a loop detect. I don't know why this is happening, because we are not using anything from here to drive this script, but I found that the way to fix this is to use here feedback, that the feedback tells the chop network that is something that is recursive, and then it can fix those warnings or errors. So now you can see that also the line is more smooth, the point position. So yeah, that's the tutorial. Also, the last thing that we need to make here is the interaction with the keyboard. And here the interaction is that if we hit the key delete or backspace, our background goes completely to white. So we need to clean the feedback to have new new drawings. Okay, so here we use keyboard in. Here we type backspace and we make it active and drag it to the reset on off and the reset pulse. So now if we are inside this panel and we hit the backspace key, we're gonna clean our we're gonna clean our canvas, right? So I'm gonna tell you a note here. So here in the processing sketch, the loop or the for function is going from 0 to the full range of mouse X, that is the canvas width value 1280. But I noticed that if we use or do that here, it's impossible, or well, it's very hard to the CPU to make to drive those number of samples, because the script chop and sop are calculated in the CPU. So the maximum well working value that found that can work, or can work good here is 100. So that's the interaction. So yeah, you can see it, but you also will notice that we have some thin lines and some more some other lines, and that's because of the speed. Sometimes the line can be drawn, so the thin line is the path or the agent position. So I think that to avoid this, is better to once you visualize this position of the agent, what we really want to have in this sketch or in our canvas is the final line of that way. So we can delete it and we can turn off the render flag, and we only see the lines that are drawn, so you will not see the difference in the width of these lines, because we're only seeing the lines that the agent is drawing. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you like it, and sorry if I spell something wrong, but I really do my best. And as you know, this file will be available for my patrons. Also, I want to thank you to all of you, because I know I be very absent these last months, but this was very difficult months for me, but I always be back with new tutorials, because I really like and enjoy to share you this knowledge, and I hope this also help you to know more about generative design, about TouchDesigner, and in this case about Python. So that's it. See you on the next tutorial. Goodbye.